Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated on this Monday in Atlanta, Super Bowl week on the Rich Eisen show. Dave McMenamin came on my show and walked me through how that famed LeBron, "that would be amazing" quote came about being a teammate with Anthony Davis, and how it was something that was completely off the cuff. But he agreed to say, go run with it as a quote. Now, that said, this does reek of an agent sitting down star player who does love the city in which he plays and does have some form of sensitivity towards the fans and wants to, in fact, have sensitivity about the way he's viewed. It does reek of an agent saying, you want to get to L.A.? This is the way it's got to be played. You got to be the villain. Just ride it out. Let me handle this. And how does all of this, not to go all 2011 on you with New Orleans and the Lakers, how does this not rise to the level of Adam Silver having to weigh in on this whole thing, Chris?
No, I don't. I don't think it's an NBA problem. And I don't look. This was. I can tell you that the Pelicans were surprised from the people I talked to this morning by the timing of all this, but they knew this was coming. I mean, this was kind of the grenade in the room that was going to go off at some point. They've been preparing for this moment for a long time, and they're going to get rich offers back in return. It's just going to be incumbent on them to make the best decision for the future of their franchise. Because, quite frankly, the future of the franchise could be at stake here. I mean, this has always been a team that's primed to be the Seattle Pelicans or the Las Vegas Pelicans at some point in the future. They're not a big draw in New Orleans. They're certainly a second or third class citizen down there in terms of sports fandom, well behind the Saints. That's for sure. So I don't think the NBA, I don't think it rises to them getting involved. I'd point this out too, Rich. You know, Kyrie Irving hasn't said anything publicly about Anthony Davis, but Kyrie Irving, I think, is closer to Anthony Davis than LeBron is. Those two are very, very tight. That's why I don't think Rich Paul could scare off Boston, because Boston's got the bat phone. I mean, they've got the back channel if they want to use it to be able to interpret what exactly Anthony Davis is thinking about the long-term future of the Celtics. His relationship with Kyrie Irving, from what I'm told, is rock solid.
But for him then to open this up so publicly now, as you point out, makes no sense if going to Boston was maybe the end game, right? Or a potential end game that Davis would enjoy doing. Then why make him public enemy number one potentially over the next 2.5 months before riding that out? That doesn't make much sense unless
there's no question that the Lakers right now are the preferred choice, but the question is, will he stay with Boston if he's traded there? And I think that's still very much an open question, to the point where I think Boston's pretty confident they can keep him if they can cut a deal with New Orleans. So yeah, you make all this up, and you I don't know what the word is, but you give your agent permission to do all this, and it's obvious you want to make a deal with the Lakers. But if it gets to July, I don't think the Lakers are the only team that Anthony Davis will commit to.
Well, I guess then my last question for you, Chris Mannix, is how does it play out? Give me your best guess. Crystal ball for me here.
I think it goes past the February trade deadline, and we get a deal in the summer. Now, executives I talk to across the league, they're of mixed opinions with all this. But I would say this. Forget Del Demps, the GM of the Pelicans here. If you're Mickey Loomis, who carries a lot of clout within that organization, I don't think you can let Del Demps make this decision. There's a pretty good chance they clean house entirely at the end of this season, from the general manager's box, where there's been some questions there for a long time, to the coaching staff. If you're going to do that, don't you want the guy you're hiring to be the architect of your team's future, to be the one to pull the trigger on Anthony Davis trade? Because that guy is going to have a clearer sense of how he wants to build a team, whether it's through maybe more established players like the Lakers could have, or a wealth of draft picks like the Celtics might be offering. I just think this has got to rise to an ownership level over the next 2 weeks, and they have got to hold off, because, look, there's no way the Lakers offer gets worse in a few months. There is, obviously a big chance you miss out on another big offer if you do the deal before February 7th.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.